I would like to start by welcoming everyone here for this year's City of Little Rock State of the City Address. I've been at many of these public forums, and you always want to say something witty. I've quoted Shakespeare and before as the brevity of wit, the soul of the brevity is the soul of wit is brevity. But I'll start out with telling you a little story. I was walking out the door this morning, and my daughter goes, "Daddy, it's St. Patrick's Day. Where's your green?" And I said, "Well, I don't have any." She goes, "You're going to get pinched." I said, "Well, maybe I like to get pinched." So, but with that being said, I will start our agenda with our Pledge of Allegiance from Miss Jasmine Camarena from Forest Heights, Demicani.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Our next agenda item is the national anthem, which will be sung by Officer Allison Walton of the Little Rock Police Department. Allison?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wonderful. I'd now like to call Director Irma Hendrix to the podium to introduce the board members.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Hines. As Director of Ward 1, it is an honor for me to welcome each of you. I would also like to welcome all colleagues, dignitaries, employees, and each resident of this great city that we call home, which is Little Rock, Arkansas. And now, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce my fellow board members. As I call your name, would you please stand and face audience? I don't want them looking at your backs. It's first Ken Richardson, Director of Ward 1. 2, I'm giving him my assignment. Ken, remain standing, please, and face audience. To Kathy Webb, Director Webb, Ward 3. To Director Zort, Ward 4. And of course, our esteemed Lance Hines, our Vice Mayor of Ward 5, Director Doris Wright of Ward 6, and Brenda Wyrick of Ward 7. The at-large directors, Director Joan Adcock, Director Jean Fortson, and Dean Gene Compuris in his absence. I would also love for our gracious manager, Mr. Bruce Moore, to stand. You have him. That's it.
Thank you, Director Hendrix. I now have the privilege of introducing His Honor in a moment, but I wanted to let you guys in on a little inside story. Every year since I've been on the board, the board members, we have an over-under wager on how long the mayor's State of the City address is going to last. So, Mayor Stodola, mine's at 34 minutes, so if you could just hit that right on the nose, it would be wonderful. Without any further ado, I want to introduce His Honor, the Mayor of Little Rock, Mark Stodola, for our State of the City address.
Thirty-four minutes, okay. Well, thank you all for being here today for this annual State of the City address. I am honored to be here to present to you the state of the city, and certainly to my fellow board members and to City Manager Bruce Moore and our City Attorney Tom Carpenter and to all the employees that are assembled, I want to thank you for being here. Jasmine, that was thank you so much for your recitation of the pledge. We're excited to see all the great education that's going on at Forest Heights STEM Academy. It's a great new redo of that school, and we're excited to see what the results are. And of course, I want to thank Officer Walton for her beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, and she always does such a great job. I'm so proud of her for being a part of our police department. And Vice Mayor Hines, thank you for that brief introduction. I want to say that my wife is ill today, and my boys are away at school, and my daughter is teaching, but my son-in-law, Craig Wilson, is here. Craig, thank you wherever you are out here. Thank you for being here. I want to start by recognizing my colleagues that are here today who are very dedicated public servants and are constantly in communication with their constituents and addressing their concerns. And what I've done in the past is I've tried to weave their names into some of the things going on in the state of the city, but for fear that I'm going to leave somebody out or forget about it, I thought what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to hit it right on the nail on the head right now, and talk about them in terms of some of the perceptions that we have about what their focus is. And I want to tell you, though, that I think that each of them does a very, very responds to a very, very difficult job that they have. The daily contact that they have with constituents, being close up and personal with everyone, really speaks to their dedication to the city and all of the various different issues we have. So first, Director Irma Hendrix, thank you for introducing our colleagues. And I want you to know that your dedication in alleviating blight in our neighborhoods has really been a great service to our city, and your passionate advocacy for those kind of projects in Ward 1 and sidewalks is really a testament to your constituents and how hard you fight for them. And I want to thank you for that. B.J. Wyrick, you, of course, are a constant fighter for Ward 7 drainage and street issues, and the Southwest Fire Station, long been a goal that we're going to accomplish, and I'm thrilled with the growth in Southwest Little Rock with Bass Pro and the outlets at Little Rock. Director Ken Richardson. Ken is a stalwart of the 12th Street corridor, the ULR neighborhoods, connecting War Memorial Park and our youth prevention programs, and is a good conscience and voice for us in those areas. Director Dean Compuris. Dean is the guardian of the Riverfront Park and the mastermind architect of all public art and sculpture throughout the city, and he continues to be a strong voice for the cultural growth of our city. Vice Mayor Hines. Vice Mayor Hines is our free market conscience on the board. who is a strong advocate for children, youth, and families, and is a master of understanding complex zoning and planning issues. Director Doris Wright. Doris, you are the bulldog for enhancements to Ward 6, including the West Central Community Center and certainly improved streetscapes throughout the ward. Director Adcock, as all of us know, is the consummate community neighborhood advocate throughout the entire city and continually works in earnest for our four-legged friends at the Animal Village. Director Gazort, in addition to his love for Ward 4, he's the lover of all things at the zoo, and he is the resident zookeeper of the city board. And Director Kathy Webb. Director Webb is dedicated to many of the Ward 3 neighborhoods, feeding the hungry, helping our friends experience homelessness, and standing up for the equality regardless of a person's sexual orientation. And finally, Director Jean Fortson, constantly offering sage wisdom to the board with incisive comments and questions, and one who has guided the AMP Commission on great decisions on Robinson Center and the Arkansas Arts Center. So that's my spin on all of the work that you're doing. I could probably say thank you very much and sit down and win somebody's bet, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and move through all of the things that are happening in the city, and in doing that, I inevitably wind up making this thing longer than I would like it to be. So those of you who go long are probably in good shape. Let me start with the economy. First, we continue to be blessed by very low unemployment rates, lower than the state of Arkansas. We're at 4.3%. This past year, we've seen over 430 new jobs created, $11 million in new payroll, and $137 million in new capital investment. 2015 witnessed the opening of the Creative Corridor, representing a tremendous return on public investment. Over $100 million in private sector development has occurred on Main Street by leveraging approximately $2 million in federal and local funds. That is a 50-to-1 return on investment. The opening of the Creative Corridor has re-energized the street that has been dead for 30 years. It also spells great excitement and economic development for the future of our technology park and the various arts organizations locating along our famous downtown street. We have seen expansion of FIS Global, one of the largest financial service companies in the world, the location of tech companies Inuvo and Privacy Star, National Custom Metal Door, Plastic Ingenuity, Essex Air, the expansion of ATA International, the major expansion of Dassault Falcon Jet, and Federal Express Freight opening with a $50 million capital investment and 160 new jobs. Our entrepreneurial technology efforts have become a reality with the opening of the Venture Center downtown. Some of you may not be totally familiar with the Venture Center, but it's a place where entrepreneurs, innovators, business community leaders, and investors gather to network and to connect and create real companies. It's an economic incubator that allows companies and individuals to be in an environment where ideas are created, cultivated, and accelerated, and then brought to life, bringing jobs to this community. It has led to the graduation already of several high-tech companies such as Apogee, Bphonics, Merger Match, and Zuni Learning Tree. The Venture Center has held several pre-accelerator classes with over 31 different organizations and has conducted dozens of seminars, weekly meetings, Million Cup events, mentor sessions, member mixers, and all sorts of startup weekends. The effort in just a few short months has supported the creation of over 50 jobs, with companies raising a collective $1.5 million in capital. This year, a partnership with FIS will bring up-and-coming fintech entrepreneurs from around the world to Little Rock for several months as part of a world-class accelerator program that will pair these groups with the financial ecosystem that we already have here in our city. These are jobs of the new millennium. They're the jobs that will be filled by my sons and your daughters and our grandchildren. In 2015, we also saw the opening of the outlets at Little Rock, a 325,000 square foot open air lifestyle destination with 75 stores, including such names as J. Crew, The Loft Outlet, Wilson's Leather, Zales, Lane Bryant, Gearhead, Restoration Hardware, Nike, Tom Hilfiger, names that we've not ever had here in our city before. It's a great opportunity for new economic activity. And we know that Dave and Buster's is coming there as well, an entertainment venue of 30,000 square feet that's going to open also in Southwest Little Rock. What this translates into is more jobs, and it brings new economic activity into our city. One other job stimulator that occurred this past year that I am most proud of resulted from a grant that I submitted to the U.S. Conference of Mayors to the Wells Fargo Community Wins grant program. The competition was stiff, and I am happy to say that we received the first place monetary grant of $150,000 given to the Arkansas Lighthouse for the Blind. The grant will provide employment for more than 40 individuals who are blind or visually impaired. These funds are being used by the Lighthouse to produce inclement weather outerwear for the U.S. Army. It's a tremendous compliment to the city and to the Lighthouse for the Blind that we were able to win this national award. On the river, our Little Rock Port and the authority members have embarked on a very important strategic growth plan underway and are reaching out aggressively for new businesses to occupy the existing properties and land that is located in the port. I'm extremely pleased that we are giving greater attention to the economic stimulus that the port provides. Arkansas is one of only 24 states to have this unique inland waterway, and it ranks third in the country in the number of navigable waterway miles. 12 million tons of cargo are shipped annually with a value of $3.9 billion. I am truly honored to be recognized at the U.S. Conference of Mayors as the chair of the Metropolitan Ports and Exports Task Force. With the expansion of the Panama Canal and the expected approval by Congress of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the TPP, tremendous opportunities await for the businesses in our city and state, allowing us to connect to the deep water ports in the Gulf of Mexico. Let me turn to the area of youth employment as part of our economic efforts. The city has long recognized the importance of providing a great foundation for young people as they begin to enter the job market. I'm extremely pleased that this past year the city and our Department of Community Programs was recognized with a City of Distinction Award for our youth employment program. This past year, 625 jobs were made available to young people partnering and participating in this program. Unfortunately, we had more than 1,200 young people that applied. So I want to speak to our business community and ask them to reach out this summer and employ a young person. Give them an opportunity to demonstrate the importance of hard work and how with discipline and dedication it will pay off great financial dividends in the future. Turning to the area of information technology, I'm really excited about what the city's been doing this year. The City of Little Rock has been very busy embracing technology in a variety of ways, and last year we rolled out our paperless option for businesses where business owners can now go green with the City of Little Rock through our new paperless e-notification system, which enables users to receive reminders when it's time to pay license fees at each stage of the business cycle. It's a convenient option that is part of our Little Rock Business License Payment System, and it allows businesses to access their account, pay fees, and acquire a license, all without ever needing to visit City Hall. This paperless notification system is expected to save nearly 1,000 staff hours of time. We also just rolled out, and I hope many of you have it, the new 311 mobile app that allows our citizens to send in mobile requests for a variety of city services. Our citizens can now turn in requests by taking photographs of abandoned vehicles, missed yard waste, pothole repairs, cars parking in the yard, and abandoned vehicles and streetlights out. And this gives us an opportunity to have these systems tracked as well. So the system allows us to report back to our citizens when we have the services completed. These are great features, and we're seeing tremendous use, increasing use by our citizens. You know, the use of big data has seen tremendous growth and application in the private sector, and now we're seeing the opportunity to put it into the private sector and measure its true potential worth. As mayor, I am thrilled that the City of Little Rock is making smart technology and the use of smart technology a great opportunity in the 21st century for the City of Little Rock. Little Rock is now the first major municipality in the state of Arkansas to embark on an open data initiative, which creates a framework for usage readily available to the city. Just this week, the Board of Directors approved a resolution of intent that will move us forward on the open data project with significant impact. Through the What Works Cities initiative, sponsored by Bloomberg Philanthropies, we are partnering with several national organizations to make this a reality. We are learning from the best tech organizations in the world. We are organizing our data into sets, creating a governance team, taking a strategic approach to getting the information out to all of our citizens to use. And this open data will open doors for all of us. Our citizens will be empowered to not just find, but also to use publishable data that is freely provided by the City of Little Rock. What used to take a trip to City Hall can now be accessed instantly anywhere in the world in a more usable format. Our city officials and departments will be able to make more informed decisions, streamline processes, and improve communications. Data will be used to measure performance and to show it in an easy-to-understand format. This open data will also be used by the city to help make better procurement decisions on contracts, as well as to track vendor performance. In 2015, the foundation was laid for this open data work, and now here in 2016, we are about to implement these policies, best practices, and tangible results in the form of open data portals. Currently, we have developed 20 different data sets using data topically organized, such as information on Planning Commission action items, lists, maps, permits, public safety data, 311 call history, and the like. I encourage you to get on the website and check out this open data portal. You'll be amazed at the information that you can not only digest, but use to see how your city is working. One of the greatest challenges we have is to make sure that all of our citizens prosper and conquer the digital divide. Our goal is to make sure that poverty and limited income is not a barrier. Our challenge is to make sure that all of our citizens have access to broadband and the wonders of technology as we continue to learn by the use of the internet and all the information contained therein. I am very proud that the City of Little Rock was chosen to partner with the Metropolitan Housing Alliance as well as the Clinton Foundation on a federal HUD program initiated by Secretary Julian Castro called Connect Home, where we have announced the opportunity to bring broadband into our public housing authority facilities. This includes training programs with our partners Best Buy and using the Geek Squad to train people on how to use the internet, and working with our partners such as Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, and Broadband Technologies to provide affordable internet services to our residents for $9.99 a month. Families that complete the certification course through Best Buy then have an opportunity to purchase a computer for $50 or to be given one through the Little Rock School District. Little Rock is one of only 28 cities in this program, and I am very proud to say that we are leading the implementation nationwide. Thank you. Next, I'd like to turn to the issues of public safety, certainly the paramount function and obligation that we as public servants have. And as I say, it is our most important obligation. Everything we do is to try and keep our citizens safe in their homes, in our schools, in our parks, on the sidewalks and streets of our city. So how are we doing? I'd like to report that we've been making, I believe, great strides each and every year to reduce crime. We have a very hard-working police department that is using every skill, technique, and technological invention available. With the advent of social media, the 24/7 news cycle, the internet, our citizens now can find out and know about virtually every crime that occurs in our city on a daily basis. And we city directors hear about that. Annually, I want you to know that we report to the FBI all Part 1 offenses that occur, which I would like to call the Big 8. We report 4 violent crimes: murder, rape, robbery, and assault, and 4 property crimes: burglary, larceny, vehicle theft, and arson. I am happy to announce that this year we have submitted to the FBI as Part 1 offenses the lowest number of occurrences that we have had in 15 years. By comparison, in 2003, we reported 21,341 Part 1 offenses. And this past year, we are reporting 15,699 offenses. This represents a 26% reduction in the number of Part 1 offenses reported to the FBI. It represents a 4.7% reduction from our previous year, 2014, and in 2014, we recognized a 5.8% reduction from the previous year. I am pleased to say that while we certainly experience hotspots of violence that get widely reported, last year we reported a 30% reduction in the number of homicides in our city, a 30% reduction. It's very difficult for our police department to anticipate where somebody may use violence and use a gun. And I will tell you that the prevention efforts that we use in multiple different ways, I hope are helping to continue to drive these numbers down like I just reported. This past year, I formed the Capital City Crime Prevention Task Force, which has been meeting monthly to examine different best practices and system changes that would help further reduce the amount of crime that occurs in our city. We will be concluding our efforts shortly and coming out with a draft report in the fall of this year. We have investigated the increased need and use of electronic monitoring for parolees, recognizing that we recognize that nearly 80% of all of our individuals in prison have a drug or alcohol problem, and thus we have explored drug and alcohol services to be made available to people who have pending criminal charges through the Affordable Care Act. We have investigated various specialty courts in the state, reviewed felony reentry programs, studied the predictive policing technology techniques that our police department uses in their regular CompStat meetings, and a variety of other best practices. Additionally, as a city, we have joined the Department of Justice's Violence Reduction Network, which provides a comprehensive approach to crime by using every tool in the Justice Department's toolbox. These resources are used and targeted in strategic, data-driven ways. Through the VRN, the Justice Department makes available to us the expertise of the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the FBI, the ATF, the U.S. Marshals Service, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Federal COPS Program, Community-Oriented Policing Program, and the Office of Violence Against Women. So in collaboration with other cities that are also part of the VRN network, we have the opportunity to share information and best practices through a variety of vehicles, including peer-to-peer exchanges, webinars, and the most up-to-date technological tools available. Last year, Chief Buckner and I were honored to serve on a National Mayor Police Chief Task Force, or working group, to discuss proactive community policing in the aftermath of the issues and tension that came to light in Ferguson, Missouri, and other communities around the country. The result of our working group was a report which we issued that focuses on the importance of building trust between police and community. It also focused on improving police department practices in a variety of areas and metrics and ensuring timely and accurate communication, including assuring the public that comprehensive investigations of police shootings will occur. Our police chief knows how important this is for our police officers to be a part of the community, to be interacting with our citizens, and that we may do everything possible so as to keep our citizens safe. This must be an effort which engages our citizens to assist our police officers in making sure that our streets are safe. And just yesterday it was reported that the use of force by police officers was down for the 4th year in a row and has decreased 42% since 2009. If you combine that with the decrease in Part 1 crime, it tells us that Chief Buckner and our police department are approaching these issues in our streets in a proactive, community-oriented policing way. And I want to compliment our police department for those efforts. In a related area, we have been working with the National League of Cities on juvenile justice reform, having recognized that in the past, many of our juveniles and our juvenile arrests were occurring actually during the school day in our schoolhouses. Many of these issues are issues that should be diverted, and we are working to try and make sure that our young people are not made a part of the criminal justice system when there are other alternatives and diversions that are available. Nationally, we have joined a variety of different organizations dealing with the issues of prevention and intervention. The Cities United Initiative, the President's My Brother's Keepers program, and we have also teamed up with the Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation for the Boys and Men's Opportunity Success Team. It's called BMOST, which is a network of organizations and institutions here to create a better now for the boys and men of color. We have several partners that include the Little Rock School District, Arkansas Baptist College. We have created mentoring programs through the city's OK program and GEMS, which stands for Girls Empowered by Mentoring Sisterhood for young women. And every week, up to 375 people take advantage of these mentoring programs. Our partners include also faith-based organizations in the community, such as St. Mark Baptist Church, which is opening up a new 50,000 square foot children and youth center. We have made a serious effort as well to engage our Hispanic community and to recruit Spanish-speaking police officers. We now have 10 bilingual police officers, and we have another 5 currently in our academy. We continue to recognize it's important to be able to build trust within our various minority communities. This past year, we saw the opening of the 12th Street Station. This building is the largest building that the city has built in decades. It's over 46,000 square feet and encompasses a full city block. The 12th Street Station has earned LEED certification from the U.S. Green Building Council, but most importantly, it serves as notice to all of our citizens that public safety, revitalization, and economic growth south of Interstate 630 are priorities of our city. It is the largest capital investment from our 2011 bond issue, and we are and likewise for other parts of the city, we are in the midst of remodeling the Josephine Pankey Community Center to include a police substation in West Little Rock, a long-needed addition for the growth of the population in that part of the city. This past year, the police department added 44 recruits to its ranks, including specifically an officer dedicated to addressing domestic violence situations. And we are planning 2 recruit schools this year with the goal of hiring 80 additional officers. Let me speak for a moment about our fire department. A couple of days ago, we swore in several new fire department recruits who have now become a part of a top-notch organization who in 2015 attained Class 1 status rating through the Insurance Service Organization. Our Little Rock Fire Department is one of only 147 departments nationwide to achieve this distinction out of 3,000. This resulted from years of hard work and dedication by the men and women of the Little Rock Fire Department, and I want to congratulate Chief Gregory Summers for all the hard work that this represents. It's important to note that insurance companies use these ratings to establish fire insurance premiums. And this means generally that we're going to get lower insurance rates because of that. The fire department responded to nearly 30,000 fire and emergency calls in 2015. The men and women of the fire department did community outreach with our Hispanic citizens with a Hispanic Fire Safety Day that was held in conjunction with Cinco de Mayo to install smoke alarms in many of the homes and residences. Our firefighters are our first responders. They save lives of literally hundreds and hundreds of our citizens each year. Virtually 80% of all of the first responder calls that are received are for life-saving measures. In light of that, the Little Rock Fire Department has created a crisis intervention team in collaboration with other fire service agencies in Central Arkansas to better serve as first responders. In the area of our community programs, one of our important departments that we have, we continue to work on a comprehensive master plan for children and youth and families, and it's focused on improving and updating the programs and services that we have for our young citizens, and ones that we know that our young citizens need to really thrive. A series of community forums have been held to identify the priority needs. A master plan advisory committee has been developed to assist in making recommendations. And additionally, our community programs department has been working closely with a variety of our currently funded partners to develop and implement a youth program quality initiative. It's just so that we can better determine the level of effectiveness of our current programs and find ways to improve. The city continues to show its dedication to prevention and intervention programs as part of our overall public safety strategy by continuing to spend $5.5 million a year on after-school programs, youth intervention programs for highly at-risk individuals, mentoring programs, skill certification, and felony reentry, all of which is part of the current services that we're providing. I'm very proud to say that the city and several of its departments, such as the Public Works Department, our Fleet Services Department, the Zoo, Housing, and even our Little Rock Police Department, along with two of our contract partners, Goodwill and Our House, have placed 304 ex-offenders in various employment programs or permanent jobs. I hope that's a message to the business community to ban the box and give citizens an opportunity to have a second chance and to become productive citizens of our community. In the area of public works, we've been pretty busy. Despite all the calls we get about potholes, I want you to know that in 2015, we responded to 130,420 requests for city services that use the enhanced 311 system, 130,000 calls for service. Of those, 7,700 of them were to our public works operations staff, who cleaned 25,000 curb miles of streets. Our Public Works Department successfully administered a sidewalk replacement program using those disadvantaged citizens and ex-felons that were re-entering the workforce by installing 4,570 linear feet of sidewalks in Little Rock. And this past year, the staff coordinated 94 different street segments of our street resurfacing program. Those 94 segments represent a total of 30 miles of city streets that were asphalted or resurfaced this past year. And in 2016, we continue with this work with the gear toward completing all of the design work and remaining bond and sales projects and construction projects that we've approved. To date, 64% of all those projects are currently, of the street and drainage projects, have actually gone to construction. Our Parks and Recreation Department has also been extremely busy this year with the design and construction of the 22,000 square foot state-of-the-art West Central Community Center. It is targeted to be completed by the end of the year, and when it's completed, it will serve as a major focus and community resource for the West Central part of our city. Our Parks Department has applied and received several grants, including a $150,000 grant from the Coca-Cola Company for major improvements to the skate park facility at Canis Park. This is a unique program that has allowed our skaters, in collaboration with the city, to work together to design a park facility which will be the envy of many cities and skaters throughout the country. And I look forward to joining Director Wright with the first competition. I can't wait to see her on a skateboard. I think we got her to promise that. Of course, our Little Rock Marathon effort continues to experience another banner year, and this year we saw increases in both registration and revenue. We not only award the largest, but now the heaviest medal on earth. Do I have anybody in here that ran the marathon, that got one of those medals? We have some smart people out here, yeah, okay. We had almost 13,000 participants in our Little Rock, for our Little Rock Marathon weekend, and they represented every state and 27 countries, 13,000 people. It is a great boon to the city of Little Rock, and I'm so very proud of the hardworking staff that Bruce was smart to hire that gets that done every year. Let's see, I wanted to also say that, you know, one of the things I was interested in when I first became mayor was to try and develop a volunteer park ranger program, and it's been re-energized, and I understand we currently have 14 volunteer park rangers, including a new junior park ranger program. They're out there in our parks trying to give us extra eyes and ears to let us know what we need to do to continue to improve those great recreational resources. Our Little Rock Zoo is also a wonderful amenity here in the city and a great tourist attraction for the community. Almost 300,000 visitors come to our zoo each year, and it really makes it one of the largest attractions in the state. We partnered with the San Diego Zoo Global Academy and Arkansas Children's Hospital to develop educational videos by use for Children's Hospital and the Ronald McDonald House. We had the birth of 3 new penguins as part of our conservation program instituted at the zoo, and we witnessed upgrades to the elephant exhibit, and I am looking forward in April to the opening of our new Arkansas Heritage Farm exhibit. This will give some of our city folks an opportunity to find out what life on a farm in the rural parts of our state is all about. Let me focus for a moment on the issue of housing, very important as we look at our community. Our Housing and Neighborhood Programs Department has continued to fill the vacant code enforcement officer positions that have been authorized through our Little Rock Scent initiative. Importantly, we have added Spanish-speaking code officers with a goal to be able to better communicate with our Spanish-speaking community. We have developed a mobile home inspection team to address the safe housing needs in mobile home parks, and we are using a new material called Secure View, which is a clear material to board and secure vacant structures. Importantly, we have dedicated funding to help homeowners bring their houses up to code and continue to provide much-needed home improvements through a wonderful volunteer program that we've been a beneficiary of for many, many years called World Changers. Each summer, a group of several dozen young college-age kids come to Little Rock from all over the country and provide a variety of renovation repairs to homeowners who are retired, disabled, or on limited fixed incomes. It has been a true godsend to have World Changers in our community, and now we are going to also be receiving a National Civilian Community Corps team from AmeriCorps. This team will be focusing on efforts very similar and weatherizing many of the same types of homes. They will be here in April, and they will continue through July. We hope to continue with more NCC teams, which come to us out of Denver, Colorado. This program should allow us to do very similar types of work, weatherizing homes of people on fixed incomes throughout the year. This past year, we also saw the creation and establishment of a Property Assessed Clean Energy Committee. It's known as PACE. This committee is developing a creative financing mechanism to allow commercial property owners to borrow project costs for improved energy-related capital expenses and to pay for them as an assessment on their property tax bill, paid for by the savings that have been procured from the reduced cost of energy. It's a very flexible process that will finance all sorts of renewable energy and energy efficient capital improvements. We have a very dedicated PACE commissioners, and we are working very hard to ensure that the public is aware of how beneficial the use of this financing mechanism can be. One of the more important and interesting studies that we've conducted this past year, the board just got a report on recently, and we continue to look and explore for ways to redevelop the urban core of our city, located primarily east of Interstate 40 and south of Interstate 630. The use of this study tool is called ReLocal, and it evaluates sustainable long-range neighborhood strategies pertaining to our built environment. This report provides a challenge to the city. It really does, because it has identified 13% of all of the buildings in the area as being vacant. It also identifies 22% of the area as having vacant lots. Thus, the challenge that this 35% represents is for us to find ways to invest our scarce resources in locations that have the greatest impact. The ReLocal tool is designed to support a targeted planning approach and to facilitate strategic decision-making by assessing neighborhood strengths and challenges, identifying current physical conditions, and analyzing neighborhood trends. It is my hope that we can take many of these vacant lots and make them available to home builders for redevelopment. I want to thank the many volunteers who helped to make this effort possible, and I know that it will be a very important tool for our Preservation Implementation Committee that is working very hard for full implementation of our citywide historic preservation plan. Importantly, the report offers an array of database recommendations for each vacant building and vacant lot for development over the intermediate term of 1 to 5 years. It also establishes a flexible framework for local decision-making by multiple entities, and it's important that we as a city engage our neighborhoods and our citizens on how we can continue to reinvest in these very important traditional neighborhoods in our city. With our limited home dollars through CDBG, our community development department was able to sell 9 new and rehabbed homes in partnership with our community housing development organizations. But as you can tell, 9 new homes really does not change a neighborhood. So it's very important that we use this relocal tool in a very smart way and see what we can do to get the private sector involved in redeveloping those vacant lots. Speaking of housing, I want to talk about our Homeless Day Resource Center for a moment, Jericho Way, and about the wonderful work that our contractor, DePaul, is performing for those less fortunate, who find themselves without shelter over their head and oftentimes without a job or without food to eat. As you know, Jericho Way, owned by the city, has been providing breakfast, lunch, showers, laundry, computers, phone access, and case management to our city's homeless population. In the 9 months that DePaul has been on board, they have served over 1,737 individuals, 76% who are men, 24% who are women. Jericho Way and DePaul is making a real difference for our homeless community. Of the 104 of our homeless, and let me tell you how that is, over 104 of our homeless have found employment, and over 226 have been housed due to the efforts and the staff of DePaul. Hundreds of volunteers have been recruited who have contributed to the effort, and nearly 30,000 meals have been served. And I look forward to new programs that DePaul wants to offer, which include providing further identification documents, support services for the newly housed, new transitional housing, and workforce employment opportunities. In the area of sustainability, I want to tell you that I'm convinced that the City of Little Rock is a municipal leader in implementing sustainable practices that are good for the environment. In addition to the PACE legislation, which was passed by the board this past year, our city board also passed a complete streets ordinance and a voluntary low-impact development ordinance. The Complete Streets Ordinance will integrate a variety of complete street concepts dealing with vehicular and non-vehicular use, pedestrian and bicycle access in our transportation and planning and road construction efforts. And the Low-Impact Development Ordinance offers developers an additional construction option for dealing with stormwater runoff in a more sustainable way. We also have developed an organic waste pilot program with UAMS and other area hospitals to recycle organic waste from the hospital cafeterias. And we conducted an annual citywide cleanup each year, where this past year we had 750 volunteers from across the city that held cleanup activities in all sorts of our respective neighborhoods. Our Sustainability Summit continues to be an excellent gathering of several hundred individuals who recognize the importance of a variety of sustainable and environmentally sensitive practices. Our next Sustainability Summit is March 31st of this month. In 2015, through the summit, 17 specific goals were developed to create a 2020 roadmap to make Little Rock more sustainable. The city and many of its partners are committed to making these things happen over the next 5 years. Working with the Hunger Relief Alliance, City Director Kathy Webb, the Executive Director, we will soon be ready to launch a mobile food market to roll down our streets offering fresh produce to our citizens who live in food deserts. And this past weekend, some of you may have been out with me at Interstate Park, where Friends of Forest Creek gathered along with many other partners, Audubon, the Arkansas Canoe Club, and volunteers to clean up Interstate Park and Forest Creek, which is a wonderful inner-city waterway. It's a unique ecosystem right in the heart of our city, and it really needs our attention, and it's a tremendous asset. If anybody would like to take a float trip with me, I would be happy to be your tour guide. I've been on it many times. I've only dumped the canoe once. It was shallow water, and we were able to get it back up and running again. Let me talk about what we do to work together in the community. Another area of our outreach is a program that has been working at our Southwest Community Center with our Spanish-speaking residents. I would like to compliment City Director Joan Adcock for her efforts in bringing together our Hispanic community with a program called Working Together in the Community. This is a group of individuals, business owners, government officials, educators, neighborhood association members, and concerned citizens who want to unite the community and make our neighborhoods better. Many of our Hispanic citizens live in Southwest Little Rock. Many of them are not familiar with all of the various opportunities and services that are available. The group meets weekly at the Southwest Community Center with conversations that are held in both English and Spanish. The sessions include such things as familiarizing our Hispanic community with the importance of public safety and reporting to the police, and how our police officers can be of assistance to them. It includes education about our resource centers and what they can do for our neighborhoods, and how code enforcement is an important element of neighborhood stabilization. The meetings also include discussions on acquiring business licenses, zoning, construction permits, and landlord-tenant responsibilities. This has been a great opportunity to bring our Hispanic residents together with the city in a very direct way, and I believe it's reaping very positive results and making our neighborhoods stronger. This year, we have high hopes to implement a municipal ID program, which will greatly aid in providing city services and benefits to the community. Another area where the city of Little Rock has distinguished itself and shown true leadership this past year was with the passage of the city's non-discrimination ordinance. The first ordinance passed by a major city in the state of Arkansas, which declares that it is the public policy of the city not to discriminate in its employment and personnel practices for a variety of recognized constitutional protections, including sexual orientation, gender identity, genetic information, and political opinion or affiliation. And importantly, it is the declared public policy of the city that all contracts for goods and services with the city shall contain a clause stating that the contracting parties shall not discriminate based on those same protections. All bid and proposal requests for city contracts include notification that such a clause and a requirement will be agreed upon and followed prior to execution. And I want to commend the board and the citizens of our city for pushing for this important safeguard. Based on our leadership, many cities and counties throughout the state have adopted this language and passed a similar ordinance. It is important to recognize that all citizens, regardless of who they love, who they care about, who they spend their time with, shall be treated with equal dignity and respect. And thank you for the courage to move forward on this. In the area of quality of life, which is what gives some real texture and definition to our city, I'd like to suggest a couple things that I think are important to observe. I mentioned the creative corridor earlier. Soon we're going to begin phase 2 of that development. It's a design plan that's centered around arts and culture and now science and technology, which has won 10 state, national, and international awards, most recently receiving the Arkansas Business City of Distinction Award for Main Street preservation. We've also witnessed the establishment and the development this past year of our technology park in the Main Street corridor. And I tell you that these efforts, in addition to such efforts as the desire to rejuvenate the financial district of our city and to add a new focus to East Little Rock with the East Village project on the east side of Interstate 630 between 6th and 9th Streets, are all important elements of rebirth and strength, and to help provide dimension as it relates to these issues of quality of life. Neighborhood revitalization continues to be exciting downtown in the Quapaw Quarter, in the Governor's Mansion District, and now the Dunbar Historic District. We have such activities as the Main Street Food Truck Festival, the Literary Festival, River Fest, Pops on the River, Race for the Cure, the Cornbread Festival, the Little Rock Marathon, Movies in the Park, Second Friday Art Night, the Cornbread Festival, and many, many more that all speak to the collective excitement and energy that downtown has. And I believe that a downtown with a strong beating heart will convince us that the core of downtown, when it's strong, the rest of our city will be strong. And I think our cities are also defined by our arts and culture. And I want to say that they give character and soul to a city, which allow us to reflect on those human elements that make us smile, they make us laugh, they make us cry. And so in addition to the wonderful museums that we have downtown, including the city's Museum of Discovery, the MacArthur Military Museum, and the wonderful state-run museums such as the Old State House, the Historic Arkansas Museum, and the Mosaic Templars Cultural Center. We have the wonderful Arkansas Arts Center, which is now being injected with new life and the ability to provide a 21st century home to a world-class art collection. Soon we will be seeing plans of a dramatically renovated art center in MacArthur Park, the city's first park, and that will carry us on to the next century with wonderful exhibits showing the passion and brilliance of some of the most amazing artists in the world. Not only will this bring in new tourist dollars, but it will also provide a wonderful redevelopment and integration of the Arts Center and the Military Museum into MacArthur Park and the surrounding neighborhoods. I am truly looking forward with excitement to visioning what this new Arts Center will look like. Likewise, the AMP Commission and our Little Rock Convention and Visitors Bureau have spearheaded a $68 million renovation of Robinson Center Auditorium. Styled as Robinson Center's second act, the Joe T. Robinson Memorial Auditorium, which has long been the staple of Central Arkansas arts as a landmark on the National Register, will be reopening this fall with a state-of-the-art performance hall that will be truly transformational, with a magnificent new conference center overlooking the Arkansas River. I can't wait for those of you to experience what type of a transformation this is going to be. I think you're going to be very, very proud of your city. The Advertising and Promotion Commission and the LRCVB have been instrumental in capitalizing these past 10 years on what the opening of the William J. Clinton Presidential Center has brought to our city. A recent report was prepared, and it showed an amazing amount of redevelopment, revitalization, expansion, and growth. Since the center's opening, approximately $3.3 billion in new development projects have been contracted for, and Little Rock's annual tourism tax over the 10-year period has increased by 81%. More than 3 million visitors from around the globe have visited the Clinton Library in our downtown area. There is no question that travel and tourism as an industry is recognized internationally as a major economic force and is Arkansas's #2 economic development engine. Little Rock serves the state's largest tourism hub with an annual visitor trips of increasing annually by 5%, attributing to 5.7 million annual travelers to Pulaski County each year. This also equates to total visitor spending increasing by 14%. So our meetings, our conventions, our sporting events, our motor coach tours, our group tours all increase the number of room nights, hotel nights in our city. And this has led to the addition of 5 new hotel properties in downtown Little Rock, increasing our local room inventory by 6.8%. It's led to the renovations of the Marriott Hotel's $16 million renovation and the Doubletree's expected $6 million renovation this year. All of this spells for exciting developments here in our capital city. Now on the horizon for the future is a resolution of the I-30 crossing project and its impact on our downtown. It is a decision of great importance, one which will impact the city for the next 50-plus years. It is a decision of monumental importance, and I would like the public to know that I, along with our City Board of Directors and our staff, are all working very hard to find a plan that will allow the city to continue to grow and prosper and connect our various neighborhoods in unique and uplifting ways. I continue to remain optimistic that such a goal can be accomplished. As for the Arkansas River Trail, certainly the construction of the Broadway Bridge and the long, challenging efforts to traverse the Dillard's Gap are projects that are on my agenda. We have had many ongoing discussions, and I am hopeful that we will be able to see an agreed-upon plan and positive progress this year. I'm also excited that the United States Navy will be commissioning the USS Little Rock later this year, and that a commissioning committee is being formed here in the city to help celebrate this new littoral combat ship equipped with 21st century technology that carries our city's name throughout the world as our military deploys in the name of freedom. If there's anyone out here or anyone listening that would like to be on that committee, please contact me so that we can put you on one of the many committees that will be dealing with the commissioning of the USS Little Rock. And finally, I'd like us to take a break this afternoon. to see the wonderful Little Rock Trojans basketball team beat Purdue. Let's hear it. The Trojans are Little Rock's team, and I am looking forward to the luck of the Irish on this St. Patrick's Day for a big win. Certainly UALR and its many academic programs, and in particular this year, the basketball teams, both men and women, have given Little Rock an additional identity throughout the country. In particular, let us wish them success, and let us wish our city good luck and Godspeed with the following Irish blessing. May we not only celebrate the luck of the Irish, but may we celebrate the luck in all of us. The celebration of our life for the community we live in, the path of our teachers, and the foresight of our leaders to make each and every day a better place to be. The city of Little Rock is and will continue to grow and be a better place for you and me. Thank you very much, and I look forward to a big win this afternoon.
Thank you. Next on our closing agenda is our closing prayer by the Reverend Joyce A. Campbell, pastor of St. Andrew AME Church. And following that closing prayer, we would invite you out into the lobby for a reception to immediately follow this event. Reverend?
Let us pray. Almighty and eternal God, our Creator and our Sustainer, God, we turn to you today in deep gratitude for all that has been accomplished with our city, the great strides that have been made in economic development, information technology, public safety, public works, parks and recreation, housing, capital improvements, sustainability, outreach, inclusivity, and quality of life. We thank you. We thank you for the leadership and vision that guides the spirit of this city to ensure that the highest, most sufficient services are being provided. We ask that you would hold up these men and women who are in positions of authority, our mayor, our directors, and all who make up the departments of our city government that serve to keep our city safe, secure, sound, and protected. We pray now that your divine spirit of understanding and wisdom will continue to guide them both now and in the future. We still have problems to solve, and we need your insight, your oversight, your compassion, and your strength. We pray for peaceful, trustful continuity as we ask you to unite the citizens and the leaders in the oneness of purpose that will enable these citizens and city servants to rally around common objectives that will continue to move our city forward and remove any impediments to serve the common good of all of our citizens. Guard and safeguard our beautiful city, Little Rock, in your divine protection, peace, and power. Allow your blessing to rest upon our city. Now unto you, O God, the one who always has been and will always be the King of Kings and the true power broker. We glorify and we honor you. Representing people of all faith, we humbly pray in the name of Jesus our Lord the Christ. Amen.